Hi. First things first, I wanted to explain what this community grid model is with respects to these capstones that I've mentioned here on the site. I thought I could better explain this on video than it would be to write this whole thing out. So first and foremost, crystals have the ability to retain information, and how this was originally set up, it was done out of compassion. I was actually trying to help someone, and this was the model was set up similar to kind of setting up a sacred space, and this was used though with grid technology, and the idea was to create kind of an as above so below with the crystals. And so the crystals that were picked really represent kind of an as above, so below concept, and also a grounding model, and it's kind of a negative positive polarity within the stones as well. So what we ended up with was kind of a, in a sense, like a no time grid, or a 0 point type of grid. And from there, it felt almost natural to begin programming into the grid the intentions for it. So we, using a kind of a keystone, would be able to communicate to the grid what it is we're trying to accomplish. And over the course of time, we would continue to add into this grid and add into this grid, in some cases modify. And I want to explain a little about me. I had quite an extensive experience with English growing up, and there's a lot of restrictions with language. If we were using telepathy, I think a lot more would be able to be communicated. So when we're working inside of the English language, it can be kind of tricky. And one of the things that I learned early on, working with energy and various different methods, is that the wording is very important. Our intentions are very important, and how things are presented need to kind of be clear and considered carefully, and at all times. One of the things about this grid is that everything is what I call a handshake protocol. So anything and everything that's been set up and made available through the intentions in the grid are on a handshake protocol with the higher self of each and every individual. So let's say you had an actual grid that had been set up at home or in your business, and you had people that were coming and going freely. Their higher self would be immediately aware that this was there, and have access to certain things there as it sees fit. It can utilize different available intentions that are there in the grid, anything from healing to even the protocols for balancing the brain. So to energy clearing, there's a lot in there. Again, it's been something that we've been continuously adding to and will continue to add to, and that then is communicated out to all the other grids and all the different crystals that are connected, any attunements that have been assumed, any jewelry that's been attuned. So that it creates this giant, like a cell phone tower, in a sense, for this crystal technology. So, but in addition to working with energy for a very, very long time, I worked in contracts for, over 13 years now. And so intention and wording, back in the day, I didn't understand how that role fit into what I'm doing now, and now I fully and completely understand, because it is really important how these things are programmed. So anyway, I just think that it's always kind of interesting when we look back at our life path and our life journey, how everything we do paves the way for where we need to go. Everything's very synchronistic and awesome. So I want to get into more about how the grid's set up and why, and but mostly I just wanted to explain that this is an actual grid. It can be set up in the home. It can also be most people will be getting the capstone, which is really the center stone. Can be worn, and it can also be used as a it can be expanded out from that stone to create kind of a sacred space around the individual. It can be left on. It can be expanded out with practice. It can be expanded out farther and farther as the individual practices with that, expanding that out. And the individual who really just isn't very well versed with using energy, that's okay. They can just wear it, or they just keep it on their person, or they can set their intention for how large they would like the grid to be around them, and they can just put it in a location in their purse or somewhere in their home. And it's very easy to work with, and I want to get into more of the mechanics with you briefly.